Right now, used EV truck prices are doing something they've never done before. They're actually reasonable. So, lease returns are flooding the market right now. Early adopters are letting go of the releases and trading up, getting new EVs, and we're seeing an influx of them in the lots. What does that mean for you? That means they're sitting on a lot of inventory right now, which makes them affordable when they never were before. But here's the problem. Not all of these deals are entirely good deals. Some of these trucks come with baggage. Some are discontinued makers. Some have bad updates or no updates. Parts and services are in question. So which ones are the good ones? So in this video, we're going to go truck by truck, and we're going to give a score out of the top 4 trucks that I think are the most reasonable and best trucks out there right now. We're going to score this by 3 things: range, luxury, and price. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which one fits your situation best. And if you want a full checklist of everything to look for before you buy any used EV truck, grab the free PDF below in the description. I built it specifically for buyers like you who don't want to get burned. Before we hop into it, if this is the kind of content you like, please consider subscribing. It really helps out our channel, and it helps get these videos to everyone just like you and I. Let's talk about what matters most. Most EV truck leases run 36 to 39 months. The first wave of EV trucks hit the market in around 2022 and 2023. You do the math, those leases are ending right now in 2025 and 2026. When those leases end, the trucks go back to the dealer. Dealers don't love sitting on used EVs. In fact, they move them as fast as possible, and they move them at a lower price than you'd expect. We're seeing 2024 and 2025 model year trucks that essentially new, trading at 20 to 30% under the original MSRP. On top of that, some manufacturers have cut or paused production of certain models, which has pushed prices on existing inventory even lower. That's a double-edged sword we'll talk about for each truck. Bottom line, if you've been watching this market and waiting for the right time, this is it. First up, the Ford F-150 Lightning. This is the truck that made mainstream America take EV trucks seriously. It looks like an F-150, it works like an F-150, and for a lot of buyers, that's the whole point. Here's the most important thing you need to know going in. Ford has ended production of the current Lightning. It's done. No more rolling off the assembly line. What's on lots right now is what exists. The range. Range depends heavily on which trim and battery you're looking at. The standard range models, mostly found on older Pro and XLT trims, delivered around 240 miles of EPA estimated. Real world was closer to 210 on a mixed drive. The extended range availability on Flash, Lariat, and Platinum trims. Edmunds independently tested Platinum and hit 345 miles on a full charge. That's genuinely impressive for a full-size truck. If you're buying used, look for the Flash trim or higher. That's where you get the extended range battery without paying Platinum prices. The luxury and features. The Lightning's interior feels like an F-150, which is great if you love F-150s. Overwhelming if you were hoping for something more premium. The 15.5-inch Sync touchscreen is solid. Blue Cruise hands-free driving is available on Flash and above, and it works well on highways. The Ford's front trunk is one of the best in the business. 11 cubic feet of lockable, drainable storage. If you camp or tailgate, you'll use it constantly. The Pro Power onboard system lets you power tools, a campsite, or even the house during an outage with the right setup. On the extended range trucks, that's up to 9.6 kilowatts. That's a real generator. Price. This is where the Lightning stands out on the used market. We're seeing 2023 and 2024 XLT models in the low to mid 40s. Flash trims in the upper 40s to low 50s. Early Pro models even cheaper. The average used 2025 Lightnings on the market right now is sitting around $55,000 according to Car Guru's data. That's a truck that originally stickered at $65,000 to $75,000. That's easily $10,000 to $20,000 cheaper. The big risk. Here's where I've been straight with you. Production is over. That means no new factory parts pipeline. Ford dealership techs are trained on it, and Ford says they'll support it, but the history of discontinued vehicles tells us a consistent story that parts get harder to find and more expensive over time. There have also been multiple recalls across the 2022 to 2025 models this year. Battery shutdowns, rollaway risks, software issues. Most can be fixed with software updates and dealer visits, but you absolutely need to verify any used Lightning has had all the recall work completed before you buy it. The Lightning carries the most value on paper, but it also carries a risk involved as well. Make sure you don't trust what the dealership says. Make sure you get everything in writing. You want to make sure all the updates are involved, because if the price point is your number one choice, this truck is probably for you. Next up is the Rivian R1T. If the Lightning is for the guy who wants a truck that looks like a truck, the R1T is for the guy who wants something completely different. The Rivian is still producing trucks. They have their own charging network, and the R1T has one of the most loyal owners communities of any vehicle in this segment. That matters when you're buying used. The range. Range on the R1T is legitimately strong. Dual motor, large battery, which is what you'll find on most used listings, delivers up to 329 miles EPA estimated for the 24 and 25 models. Real world range on most mixed driving tends to be around 290 to 310. The max battery versions are pushing up to 410 miles EPA, but those are rare, and I should warn you on that. These are rare on the used market and priced accordingly. Most buyers, the large battery dual motor is the sweet spot. The luxury and features of these trucks. This is where the R1T earns its reputation. The interior is generally premium, better materials, more thoughtful design, and a cabin feel that is closer to a luxury vehicle than a work truck. The gear tunnel, that pass through storage compartments between the cab and the bed, is the R1T's signature feature. It's lockable, weatherproof, and it holds more than you'd expect. Adventure-oriented owners absolutely love this truck. Standards on most trims are the heated and ventilated seats, the air suspension, a 15.6-inch touchscreen, and the driver assistance features included adaptive cruise. It's a loaded truck right out the box. Rivian also offers over-the-air software updates and a growing Rivian Adventure network of DC fast chargers, now also compatible with the Tesla superchargers. Long distance driving is more practical than it was 2 years ago. The price, the R1T is the most expensive truck on the used list. TrueCar shows the average Adventure trim on the used market sitting around $64,000. You can find 2022 models, launch editions, and early Adventures in the $50,000 to $55,000 range. The lowest recent recorded sale for a R1T was just under $40,000 for a high mileage 2022. But realistically, the budget of $55,000 to $70,000 for a clean 23 or 24 is in good condition. I'll show you guys a mix of some stuff that I saw on Carvana, but the R1T is the highest price point of all of the trucks that I'm going to be showing you today. And it comes with good certainty too. They're trusted, they're nice, they have all the bells and whistles that you really want, minus maybe some driving capabilities, but they're really, really nice and they're really taken care of. However, because they are so nice and because they're taken care of, they typically have high mileage. So even though they come with a higher price tag, they're also probably going to come with a higher mileage as well. The good news is with the Rivian is they're still in production. They're still going strong. They still have everything that they're building, and they're looking at building new ones. In fact, the R2 has come out already, and it's supposed to be a really, really good truck. So that means there's technicians and there's parts available for the R1T. For buyers prioritizing adventure, premium feel, and long-term software support over the air, the R1T is the top pick for this list. So here we are, the next truck. The next truck is the Silverado EV. Now, there's multiple trims. We started out in 2024. We have the RST and we have the work truck. And then we have the work truck, the 4T. We also have the 3T and the 4T. So there's actually 3 trims in the 2024. And then we have multiple trims coming out in the 2025, including the RST as well. Now, the RST and the 2025s are probably not the ones that are going to be coming back from lease unless they were returned early. I would kind of be skeptical of that. Why are they coming back early? Is that a personal feel, or is that something that they just feel like they wanted to upgrade to a different model because a new model came out? Who knows? The Chevy Silverado EV is a truck I own, obviously, so I'll give you my honest take on that. Not a sales pitch. This truck is built on the GM's Ultium platform, which means it shares technology with a whole family of GM electric vehicles. That's actually good news for parts and service availability long term. The range on the Silverado EV is where it gets impressive. If you've been watching this channel, you know that the RST max range is most commonly found in the used market, is rated up to 440 or even 450 miles, depending on who you're looking at. On the 2024 and the 2025 models, that is. Real world range of mixed driving, expect anywhere from 380 to 410 is what I've been calculating. The charge speed is also the best in class. With the right DC fast charger, you can get up to 124 miles of range in just 10 minutes. For a truck that size, that's pretty remarkable. Luxury and features. This is where the Silverado EV gets complicated. If you remember some of my reviews, you know that this is where I am mixed. The tech is generally excellent. A 17.7-inch touchscreen, a Super Cruise hands-free driving that also works while towing, and multi-flex midgate that opens up in the back wall of the cab to haul items that are nearly 11 feet long. But, and this is the real but, the interior quality on the RST does not match the price. Too much hard plastic for a truck that originally stickered at over $80,000. In fact, my truck stickered at $97,000 MSRP. That's quite a bit of the price. If interior quality matters to you, look at the GM Sierra EV. Same platform, same drivetrain, noticeable nicer interior. We'll cover that next. Towing capacity is also a highlight. Properly equipped, the Silverado EV can tow up to 12,500 pounds. That's class leading. My truck says 10,000 pounds, and I want that to be known. The 3T is the one that can have 12,500 pounds, and that is the work truck 3T. Used Silverado EV pricing is one of the best surprises in the market. TrueCar shows RSTs averaging around $62,000. The work truck fleet models, both the WT3 and the WT4, which are leased commercially, are showing up as low as $39,000 to $47,000, which is right on par with the Ford Lightning. Edmunds shows the used inventory ranging from $41,000 to $73,000, with an average around $61,000. That's a truck with 440 miles of range for well under what it costs new. Here's my honest take. For pure specs, range, towing, charging speed, the Silverado EV is arguably the best deal out there right now. GM is still producing it, it's still supporting it, it's doing everything that we've talked about on this channel. The Ultium platform isn't going anywhere. If you can live with the interior quality, which is this kind of scratchier material that I've talked about before, other than that, the leather's pretty nice. The seats feel pretty comfortable. If you can live with that part of it, then this is the truck for you. If it's not, our next truck is exactly where you'd want to be for a little bit higher price. And that's the Sierra EV. So let's talk about it. The GMC Sierra EV. Now, the GMC Sierra EV is the Silverado EV in a suit. Same Ultium platform, same motors, same range, but a significant upgraded interior and the GMC Denali badge for buyers who care about that. Think of it this way. If you looked at the Silverado EV and you're like, everything sounds amazing, except I don't like the cab, then the Sierra EV is your truck. Range. Because it shares the same Ultium platform, the range is essentially identical. The Denali models are rated for 440 miles EPA. Depending on who you talk to, it could be 450 like my truck. Real world expectation, anywhere from 370 to 410, and that's depending on mixed driving. Same best in class DC fast charging. Luxury and features. This is Sierra EV's lane. The Denali interior is a genuine step up. Higher quality materials, more premium finish, a cabin that actually justifies the price tag. Reviewers consistently note it feels more luxurious than Silverado RST, despite sharing the same mechanical underpinnings. The Super Cruise, a 17.7-inch touchscreen, the multi-pro tailgate, and the Ultium tech suit all the carryover, but the Sierra wraps them in a nicer package. The price is a little bit higher. So the price of these typically range on an average of $74,000. The elevation and trim obviously makes a difference, and the amount of miles left on it does too. The lowest current listings I've seen around are somewhere between $55,000 and $57,000, but those are getting bought up immediately. So if this is something you're looking for, I would start looking at your local areas for used vehicles on the regular dealership lots, the Chevy lots, the GMC lots, and seeing what's there. Another thing you can look at, which I'm going to show you at the end of this, is the Carvana, and you'll see kind of as quick as they come up, they go. For context, these trucks are generally stickered anywhere from $90,000 to $100,000, just like the Sierra or just like the Silverado EV. Now, they're typically a little bit more expensive, and I'll give you my own take on this. I was looking at two trucks when I bought this truck. It was this truck and a Sierra. Now, the Sierra, there was actually 3 Sierras that I was looking at, and I was looking at 3 Silverados. And one of the Silverados was this one, and the other 2 was in black at a different dealership at the same dealership. And those sold that fast, depending on the amount of miles that were on it. The first one only had 320 miles on it, and it was nice. The other one was like 13,300 miles, had 13,000 more miles on it, and then that was sold the next day too. So I bought this one, which was actually my first pick, and it had 9,600 miles to start, which is another reason why I could get it lower price as I did. I bought this one from the dealership at 64,500, I believe is what I said. I think it's 64,500 before all the extra fees and taxes and stuff like that. So 64,500, considering its MSRP was $97,000. Now that's not a lease return or anything. That's just because it was used on the lot. And those are still available right now. You can still find the 2025s and the 2024s in that same boat in both the Sierra and the Silverado. Now, when the other cars I was looking at, the other trucks, was the Sierra EV Denali. Now, that one was significantly more expensive by $10,000. And that's the reason why I didn't get it, was because I could not justify paying another $10,000. So if you can, and you like the interior to be a premium, maybe that's the one you should look for. All right, let's bring it all together. The price, if price is the #1 priority, and you're doing most local and regional driving, the F-150 Lightning is your truck. You'll find the best deals, it drives great, and you'll find and get a super solid premium purchase inspection and verify all the recalls are cleared. It can be an excellent buy. Just go in with eyes open on the discontinued production risk. If you want the best adventure, overland package with strong manufacturer support and premium features, the Rivian R1T is your truck. It's smaller, it costs more, but it's getting the most purpose-built truck on this list. If you want a maximum range, towing at the best price, and interior quality isn't your top priority, then the Silverado EV is your pick. And I stand by that. This truck is a great truck. I'm not trying to sell you, I get nothing out of it, but it is a great truck. The value proposition of this truck right now is genuinely hard to argue with. And if the interior is your issue, then the Sierra EV has the same quality that this truck has, except, like I said, it's kind of wrapped up in suit and tie. So before you go into a dealership or click buy on any of these trucks, there is a handful of things you absolutely need to make sure you understand before you walk in. Battery health reports are a huge issue. We don't know what someone did to the truck before. Did they charge to 100% every time? Did they bring it down below 10% every time? We don't know. So getting that battery check is really, really important, especially when you're buying from a dealership. Battery health reports, recall completion verification, charging equipment, warranty transfer status, which is a real big one. Things that cost you thousands of dollars if you don't pay attention to it. If you go down in the description and click on that PDF checklist, this is all in there and more. It's free. Slap in your email and I'll email it right to you. If this video helped you, hit the like button. It generally helps more people find this channel and helps them do the research just as you did. I post real ownership content from a real truck owner. No paid reviews, no manufacturer partnerships influence what I tell you, just honest information from buyers for buyers. Subscribe if you want to follow along. I'll see you in the next one.